This story begins with Azon, the heir to the throne of Iolcus, and Peleus, his jealous stepbrother. When their father, the king of Iolcus, passed away, Peleus imprisoned Azon and took the crown for himself. However, unknown to Peleus, Azon's wife bore a son named Jason. She sent him to Chiron, a wise and noble centaur, and for 20 years Chiron schooled Jason in the arts of the ancient world, until the time came for Jason to return to Iolcus and reclaim the throne.
Before Jason confronted Peleus, he encountered an old woman who needed help crossing the river Anaris. Unfortunately, in the process, Jason lost one sandal. This was, however, no accident, because after Jason was driven from his kingdom, an oracle prophesied to Peleus that a man with one sandal would usurp his throne. Not only that, but the old woman was actually Hera, the queen of the gods.
Jason arrived in Iolcus to claim his throne during a banquet that the new King Peleus held in honor of his father, Poseidon. King Peleus refused to relinquish his rule. However, once he saw a single sandal on Jason's foot, Peleus devised a plan to send Jason on a quest he was sure he would not return. Jason was to retrieve the magical golden fleece. Jason agreed to this task, eager to prove his worthiness to rule. To assist in his quest, Jason enlisted the help of Argos the shipbuilder, who, with the help of Athena, constructed the largest and fastest ship to ever set sail, the Argo. However, every ship needs a crew, so Jason then assembled Greece's greatest heroes to do just that, including Hercules, the legendary son of Zeus, the winged sons of Boreas, Zetes, and Cales, Theseus, slayer of the Minotaur, and many more Greek legends joined this band of crusaders. And with his men now assembled, Jason and the Argonauts began their journey for the Golden Fleece.
One of the Argos' many stops was the home of the once renowned King Phineus, the prophet who was cursed by Zeus with blindness, prolonged in old age, and tormented by the Harpies, birds with the heads of women and razor-sharp claws. As soon as Phineus would begin to eat, the Harpies would swoop down and snatch the food from him. Straight away, the Argonauts prepared a feast to bait the Harpies. Cackling Harpies soon appeared like bolts of lightning from the sky. They devoured everything in a flash. Zetes and Calais, descendants from the north wind, stood them down, then chased the Harpies to a faraway land where they would never bother Phineus again. The Argonauts set sail on a wind conjured by the goddess Athena. Soon they reached a narrow and winding canyon guarded by clashing rocks. Phineus had warned the Argonauts that no ship had ever passed through the rocks, and even if the Argo was made of iron, she would not survive. As concealed by Phineus, Jason released a dove to fly between the towering cliffs.
From Mount Olympus, the goddesses Hera and Athena devised a plan to ensure the Argonauts' success. They would send Eros to hit King Aedes' daughter with one of his arrows, so she would become infatuated with Jason. King Aedes suspected the Argonauts were trying to usurp his scepter and throne, and threatened them, but Jason spoke that he had no such desire, and that he was willing to pay for the fleece in a war with Aedes' enemies, and, doing so, all Iolcus would know of King Aedes and his generosity. Thus, Jason flattered Aedes. So, Aedes said that he respected Jason's courage, so he would gladly give him the fleece. But first, Jason would have to win a deadly trial to prove his courage. King Aedes decreed that Jason would accomplish a series of tasks that are on the same caliber as the labors of Hercules. Jason, feeling pulled between King Aedes and King Peleus, and a looming sense of doom, nonetheless, he accepted the challenge. Medea offered Jason protection against the trials, but only if he agreed to marry her. In his desperate situation, he did. For Jason's trials, first he was to capture a pair of fire-breathing oxen, and then plow the field. In the furrows, Jason was instructed to sow the field with teeth of a dragon. Then he was to kill all the skeleton warriors that sprang to life from them. Medea had told Jason to throw a boulder amongst the skeleton army to distract them and while he was still invulnerable to their spears, he could take them out all so easily. And then finally, he was to defeat the dragon that never slept guarding the Golden Fleece. Even though Jason had proven himself worthy, King Aedes still had no intention of giving him the Golden Fleece. Quite the opposite, in fact. Aedes lay awake plotting to burn the Argo and destroy the Argonauts. In exchange for her safety, Medea offered to deliver Jason the Golden Fleece, but the snake that guarded the fleece still stood watch, hissing a terrible sound that echoed throughout the kingdom. Urgent for his prize, Jason sprang forward into battle, but with the lack of Medea's potion, he was soon swallowed by the snake. Medea came to his aid once again, sang prayers, potions, and song. She lulled the guardian dragon into a deep sleep. And out came Jason. Out of the snake's belly, Jason looked over to the tree where the fleece lay. The fruits of his labor. His journey is done.
Years after Jason and the Argonauts returned home from Ioscles, Jason held the Golden Fleece in his hand and dedicated the Argo to Poseidon, god of the sea. However, his uncle King Peleus did not accept the gift, nor did he replenish his rule to Jason. Medea and Jason conspired to murder the king. Medea tricked the daughters of Peleus into killing their father. For this murder, Medea and Jason were exiled from Ioscles.
As time passed, trying to make a new life as citizens of Corinth, Jason betrayed his wife, saying that it was not she who deserved him, because Aphrodite caused Medea to fall in love with him. Jason then chose a new wife, a young princess, rather than the old witch. Full of rage, Medea took revenge by murdering Jason's family, including her own children. Jason was left in sorrow, underneath the decayed Argo, and was struck dead by rotting timber.
Jason isn't just famous for being a great hero. He's also thought of as a brave explorer. Part of what makes Jason's quest so nutso is that he and the Argonauts are traveling to a way further places than most every other Greek has gone before. When Peleus tells Jason to go to the Colchis to fetch the Golden Fleece, it is kind of like somebody telling you to bring a couple of rocks from the moon. It's not totally unthinkable, but it would take some serious hupsa, no?
Also relates to the theme of exploration. Jason's quest to fetch the Golden Fleece required some serious courage. For one, he and the Argonauts had to travel a long way to achieve their goal. This was no kiddie sailing trip. Traveling long distances overseas almost always involved facing some major threat or danger. Jason and the Argonauts' journey was particularly perilous because they faced a zoo of supernatural enemies like harpies and sirens. To beat the odds stacked against them, Jason and the Argonauts must have been seriously committed to seeing their quest through to the end.